What's up, guys? Welcome back. Oh, holy surf and turf. Happy Father's Day, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with the star of the show, two beautiful filet mignons. I like to use pink Himalayan sea salt or blue diamond kosher salt. Going with the kosher salt today because it's nice and flaky, which is perfect for these steaks. Now, you want to allow your steaks to come up to room temperature, and I also like to season on a plate because it allows me to catch any excess seasoning and nothing goes to waste. Now we're adding a little bit of onion powder, some garlic powder, and fresh cracked black pepper. Again, make sure they're seasoned evenly, including the sides and that fat cap as well. Allowing your steaks to come up to room temperature result in a more evenly cooked finished product. You don't want medium rare in the middle and well done on the outside. Once your steaks are nice and seasoned, go ahead and set them aside. And then we're going to get into our greens. Chop the ends of your asparagus off. It wouldn't be Father's Day without some bacon. So we're going to wrap these bad boys in some center cut bacon. Please use center cut for this. It's nice and thin and will cook quicker for you. And then just roll your asparagus tightly like a nice bundle of asparagus, as you see me doing here. Now, once your veggies are rolled up beautifully, we're going to go ahead and season them. First, adding a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper. Go light on the salt because obviously bacon has tons of sodium. So salt, pepper, onion powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika, which adds some nice color and adds and complements that smoky flavor from the bacon. We're going to pop this in an oven at 425 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes or until that bacon is nice and crispy. Make sure to season all sides as you see me doing here. Moving on to our lobster tail, the surf of the surf and turf. Take your scissors and cut down the spine or the back of the lobster. I don't know if lobsters actually have a spine, but it sounded good. Then use your fingers to kind of break open the lobster tail. Be gentle here. You don't want to crack the shell too much. You just want to loosen up that meat. That sounded weird. Get under there with your fingers and pull the meat above the shell. Squeeze the shell back together and then just lay the meat on top like so. There you go. Once that's done, we're going to make our melted butter. Add a little bit of lemon juice. Fresh squeeze, please. Don't forget the garlic paste. About a teaspoon or so of the garlic paste. Some paprika. That fresh lemon juice. Season the flesh of the lobster with salt and pepper. Don't forget the Old Bay. Just coat them nicely. And then you want to brush your lobster tails with that melted butter mixture. You can use a spoon if you don't have one of these fancy brushes. Oh man, that looks good. Once they're nicely coated in that butter, we're going to pop them in the oven at 425 degrees also for 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how big your lobster tail is. Once it registers 145 degrees internal temperature, the lobster is done. A little bit more butter for good measure. This is a Father's Day feast for sure. All right, Kerrygold butter is the gold standard of butter. It's grass-fed and super delicious. Get your skillet nice and smoking hot. Add some high smoke point cooking oil. I like avocado oil. And then place your steak in the skillet, laying away from you and pressing down so the steak gets surface area contact with that skillet, which will develop a beautiful crust on these fillets. And crust equals flavor. There you go. About 90 seconds per side. Go ahead and check for color. Not quite there. Depending on the thickness, you're looking for about 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes for the first side until you get a nice crust. Make sure to turn your vents on so you don't smoke out your house. That's what you're looking for right there. Crust for days on these fillets. Go ahead and flip them over. Make sure to sear all sides. And then for the fun part, you get to see the baste god in action. I like to turn the heat down to about medium at this point. Add in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, along with some fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, and some garlic. Grab a big spoon, tilt the skillet towards you, and baste each fillet. Give them the attention that they deserve. You can add some serious flavor with this technique. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. Not only does it look great, but it adds a ton of flavor. And you can show off for your house guests, as long as you don't burn yourself. So about 90 seconds to 2 minutes on the first side. Flip them over, baste for an additional 60 to 90 seconds, and then we're going to pop them in that 425-degree oven until they reach an internal temperature of 130 degrees. Let them rest for 6 to 8 minutes, and then plate them up beautifully as you see here. A little trademark money shot. Yes, that is a twice-baked potato in the background. I have that recipe coming to you guys very soon. Now it's time for the moment of truth. And that, my friends, is a perfectly cooked filet mignon. Taste test approved. Happy Father's Day, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the recipe. Please take a second to subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you for your support.